back to another episode of the Say It How It Is podcast, where I am solo hosting today for the first time this season, which... Hello, Marley.
She heard that.
I'm not solo hosting. You want to join?
Ta-da.
Hello. That's actually quite cool. Anytime I am on my own, you can come and host.
That was a good intro, that.
Yeah, I know.
That was
You're stealing the show,
How did you train her to do that?
She's just a princess. She's just an absolute princess. Anyway, I was solo hosting before Marley just joined me. But I am so excited for this So excited. Excuse me, are you excited as well? So excited for this episode. I am joined by Will, the founder of Hikitalo. Well, now pretty much two Hikitalos, which is cool. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolute pleasure to be here.
I say us because it's now me and the dog.
The three of us. No, thank you so much for coming on.
I'm so excited. We have so much to talk about. But yeah, to begin with, I do need to be accountable. Poor Will. I was late. It took me ages to set up. I'm a one-man band today. Poor guy. What a great first impression.
I had a sauna. I'm super relaxed, always chilled. So it's all good.
I said to you, didn't I? I was like, just let you know, the studio's really warm. It gets really hot. And then I paused and I said...
It's like a sauna.
I said to you, didn't I? I was like, probably the wrong person to say that to.
Yeah. We've experienced hotter than this,
yeah.
that's for sure.
Well, if you've ever been to Hikitalo, it gets hot in there. But how are you?
I'm really good. I'm really good.
I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
A few weeks, like a month or two maybe?
I think so, yeah. But keeping the head down, just been, working away. Getting all the staff trained up, opening of the second down in West Bay, which happened 2 weeks ago. So that's been super exciting.
So exciting.
And just been working my socks off, to be honest with you. I'm sweating them off as well.
I'm sweating just saying you, to be honest. It's quite exciting because you mentioned earlier, I asked you, because when I first met you, you were a one-man band, and then you told me you just sent in your team of 9.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like 7 months ago, we opened the first one at Sandy Bay. And I remember, I often have this conversation now because it's just mad looking back. I don't know how I did it. Yeah. But I'd do 14-hour days waiting for 2 people to maybe show up at the sauna, especially the first 2 weeks. Now, I got to give credit. I was incredibly lucky to meet Steve, who I believe you have met as well, who works alongside me. He's been there from pretty early on as well. But yeah, in the beginning, it was unbelievably tough. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's one of those things that has paid off as well, So
but I think what you just said, you used to do 14 hours for 2 people to turn up. I think if people seen, where you've grown this business and this brand and this community to now, that just doesn't happen overnight. And I think people can look at it. And I think we mentioned earlier off air that we said, anyone can do that. Well, you can't. Not anyone can do it because it takes a lot of resilience and a lot of heart and passion to be able to create what you've now created. Yeah,
and a lot of people don't see the things behind the scenes as well. I do a 14-hour shift down at the sauna, and then you'd come home, you'd have to do your post for on Instagram, you'd have to do your admin, and it has been crazy, and it still is crazy, but I get so much back from it, and not monetarily, but more so the community and everything you mentioned, so. It worked out perfect.
I can't wait to dive into the community stuff later. But for people that don't know, what's the story? Where's this all started? Because I said, when we first met and I first came and I first tried the sauna, you were really open with me with where it started, and I was really interested to find out that about you. And and I don't want to say your story for you, but that was something you really opened with at the beginning of how and where all this has started and come from. So what is the story behind Hikitalo?
Yeah, sure. So, well, first of all, Hikitalo means sweat house in Finnish, so that's a little hint.
Well,
We should call this Hikitalo, actually.
I know, I get so sweaty.
It is warm, isn't it? But not as warm as the podcast episode in the sauna last time, though. That was insane. I definitely put too much wood on.
That was, sorry, sidetrack.
Yeah, I went off track there. I tend to do that.
No, I do too. But you did an episode with Ollie, didn't you? And you did it in the sauna, which is cool. But then you said how hot it was.
I put too much wood on and we were both sweating. But so look, my journey, I've been in corporate environments for the last 15 years. And 2.5 years ago, it just all caught up with me. Multiple factors in my life led to a breakdown. The 3 I kind of put it down to were childhood trauma that I hadn't dealt with properly. A breakup and a burnout. Those 3 things combined, along with a bit of alcoholism as well, put me in a hole, a real deep one as well. And I felt stuck in life. I felt incredibly unhappy, and just didn't know which way to go, really. at what age was I then? 31. Yeah, probably was 31-ish, 32. And I decided just to pack everything in. I sold 75% of my possessions, probably.
Whoa.
Had a backpack, went across Latin America, ended up in sweat lodges, which are the Mayan version or Latin American version of saunas. And I met a Finn in there, who was actually here 2 weeks ago. It was great to have him in Porthcawl. He came over to visit the first time.
Wow.
Santre, so big shout out to him. He's been a massive inspiration to me and still is.
Legend.
Yeah, absolute legend, mate. Absolute legend. I don't know what's that way, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Looking at the wrong camera. Looking at the wall and calling him legend. But yeah, that journey then, I found that experience in itself, those sweat lodges, incredibly healing. A bit of a turning point in my life. And from there, I went on to experience a lot of different saunas when I came back to Europe, etc. And did more in Guatemala as well and stuff like that. And it just brought me on this crazy, crazy journey. I then ended up in Germany for a small stint. I had a German girlfriend that I was seeing at the time. And I was building Hikitalo out there.
Oh, wow.
German
sauna. To launch it out there?
It was never meant to be here. It was. I was living in Munich, and sauna out there is very strict, like you'd expect it from the Germans. Very quiet, and there's a lot of rules around it, etc. I know, and I thought, I can bring something different here. I think, what if I introduce a very social sauna where we talk and stuff like that? So I identified that little gap in the market there. But it's so incredibly strict with regulations, etc.
Okay.
And I broke up with that,
So the connection from there, then that changed.
Yeah. So I came back home for a short stint here. Wasn't planning on staying here at all. And I came across the spot that sauna number 1 is in. And that's basically where the journey started, really.
Was it just by chance that you just tried the sauna? Or was it something that, obviously you discussed that, the place that you were in, was it something you would recommended? Like, how did you actually get into it, if that makes sense?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, was it just like you just tried it one day and then you're like, oh, I actually quite like this? Or was it something that, because of the place you were in, people were like, I think this would be good for you at this point in your life?
I was going to them before I went travelling.
Ah, I see.
I was actually going into infrared ones a lot. I've got to give a shout out here to two people that have been an inspiration to me, who also offered their space when I wasn't feeling at my best. Probably at my worst, actually, I should say.
Hey, but those people are the most important, because you can be there for all the highs, but the people that are with you for the lows.
Oh, totally. And they probably didn't know it at the time as well. So it's Love Light Healing Club. I hope I'm saying that right. In Pontcana. Rico and Tess, you've built an incredible space that really helped me during that time. So
legend times 2.
Yeah. And it got me sweating and stuff like that, which was great. So started there, and in leisure centre, gyms and all that kind of stuff. And then as my journey unfolded, went with travelling and stuff like that, I just got so interested in it. In fact, I became obsessed. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure my memory, you told me a figure that you tried like X amount of sauna.
So I keep a log on my sauna experiences.
Okay, so I'm not making this up.
No. So I have a sauna journal. I ended up doing 70 plus different saunas in 14 different countries.
Whoa, that is cool.
Yeah.
So your experience, and now you've created your own. You're like, well, I'm pretty much a pro with knowing what I should and shouldn't do with this.
I learned so much, and I've taken inspiration of all those experiences. Like my experience of living in Germany and doing a lot of sauna over there, where they use a lot of essential oils and all that kind of stuff. I've brought that to our sauna here in Porthcawl. And then the Finnish style that, I've learned from Santre. It's just all those different experiences have led to this one. I remember seeing a stained glass window, actually, in a sauna from the 1920s in Austria when I was there. And I was like, when I start my own one, I'm going to have a stained glass window.
Oh, cool.
So it's all those little bits that have led to this one, So, I actually want to get back out there and get to 100. Yeah.
Where's your next destination?
So I'm going back to Finland on the 4th of July until the 13th. So I'm going to take a short break over there, do a little bit of research as well.
I think you do a break.
Yeah, no, I am. Yeah. No, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm visiting Santre.
Amazing. That'll be really refreshing. Nice.
Yeah, no, it's going to be cool. So no, I'm looking forward, 100%.
So obviously going back, you said about your story around like you mentioned that your childhood trauma, your burnout and all things like that. Like there are definitely things I can relate with you for that. And then did you feel that caught up with you in later life because you hadn't dealt with it earlier, and then you had to find something to kind of, not so much a purpose, but for me, how I've dealt with like my own past, like rugby became my purpose that I could then completely focus on. It was like my out, if that makes sense, where I could go kind of like therapy, but not without the name, if that makes sense. And I used rugby
As an outlet.
Yes, as an outlet. Do you then feel that during those difficult times for you, then this became your outlet, and then because of how much it's helped you, now it gives you that same drive to want to provide that for everybody else?
I feel, having suffered the way I did, because when I was at my lowest, I literally did not see a way out. And I remember having some scary thoughts at that time. And I feel like it's almost like a duty for me to do this. Do you know what I mean? So to offer a space where people can overcome the feelings that I was feeling. I was feeling incredibly lonely, depressed, etc. If our space can help combat that in the slightest, that gives me a sense of purpose.
Well, you definitely do, because the community, and again, it's the community, something I really want to talk about in depth and later on in the podcast, but yeah, if anybody knows or has followed you from the beginning, like I said, the community that you've created and the people that are coming far and wide to try, like Hikitalo is incredible. It's funny you say that about the duty thing, because that's how this kind of podcast was created. Was I had so much different life experience I'd been through and trauma I'd been through growing up, that I then felt I had a duty to do something with that experience. And I hadn't spoken to anyone about this experience because I kind of protected it due to shame. And I kind of carried this guilt to be like, I have the power to do something with this. I have the power to help somebody else, like that, even if it's just one person that had a similar experience to me. And again, a duty was how I would explain it. I felt like you could choose not to, but also you could choose to do it. And think how someone that's, like I said, going through what you did and feeling, like you said, lonely and like dark and deep, like dark thoughts, and didn't have a way out or way to turn, but then you could be someone that could influence that. So I can definitely empathize with that, because exactly where I was kind of going on my journey over the last few years, and then how this podcast was born was down to that. But I think that comes to a point where you feel you've got to be ready to do that. So I suppose if you...
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you weren't ready to, I suppose, go on to this new journey and I suppose where you've gone to now and everything that you've experienced now wouldn't be as successful as it was. You've got to be able to be okay in yourself and be like, I feel ready to do this.
Oh, God, when I think back, there were definitely times in my life where I wouldn't have had it in me to do what I do now. It goes without saying, and I had to go traveling. I had to go away in order to come back again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I came back with a bit of a fire in my belly, ready to go again. I think those experiences, though, like, the childhood trauma and being in a hole and all that kind of stuff, it does give you the drive, incredible drive, when you are able to make moves again, and
post-traumatic growth, that's what it is.
There you go.
That's what
There's
it
a word
is.
for
All
it.
of us traumatic, he says. It's post-traumatic growth.
Yeah, there you go.
I do find, though,
I think we can use it as a power.
I think there is this energy, because I don't know whether you feel similar from your kind of experiences, but for me, I had the things I've wanted to accomplish, whether that's rugby, podcast, career, whatever. I always had this, I didn't want to be the stereotype or just be what everyone thought I was going to be or live the life that everyone expected me to. And I had this drive to be like, okay, I know I've severely suffered with depression. I know I've had all of this childhood trauma. I know X, Y, and Z, but so-and-so expects me to just be nothing. But I know that I've got the passion, the drive to be something and to do something with this, and I want to make sure that I can help people. Like you're saying, if I hadn't dealt with that properly and then tried to do this, I don't think it would have ended as well. But now, seeing the difference and the confidence, as soon as you open that door and you're like, I'm ready to do this, and you're like, whoa, I am actually I'm well strong.
Yeah,
I can 100%. Do. And then I guess, like you said, it's an energy and like a passion that you just comes out of you, and you're like, whoa. Yeah, I am capable of doing this. Yeah. And then now you look back and you think, I've done all this.
Yeah, and it's something to be proud of.
Yeah, for sure.
And what's better than proving something to yourself? You know what I mean? Yeah. Never mind others, but to yourself. You know
I think that's the biggest thing, proving it to yourself.
Yeah. I don't need to prove anything to anyone but myself.
Yeah, especially, I suppose, when you're having those dark times and those dark thoughts, it's really easy to fall into that trap to thinking, oh, you're nothing and you're not going to be anything. But when you come out the other side, like now, like you're saying, it's you that matters most. And I agree with you, where I'm going into this part of my life where I'm like, I don't care about what other people think of me. I care what I think about myself. And that's the most important thing. So, for what... I don't know if you can hear Marley chomping on a bone.
Bless.
For you now, like, how do you feel when you rock up to the beach? Well, which two different beaches. Do you have a moment of reflection? Like, do you ever have a moment when you're like, it just hits you and you're like, I done this? Do you know what I mean?
Weekly. Yeah, you wouldn't think it, because I always feel like I'm rushing around like a madman, trying to do everything. But actually, I do have those moments. Especially, I tell you, my favorite time of day. I don't have them that much anymore, but I'm going to make sure that they come back into my life again. Is you have to be down at the sauna at 5:30 in the morning to light it in order to get it ready for the day, because it takes about an hour and a half to get everything ready. That time of morning when everybody else is in bed and I'm lighting the stove. Hello there.
She's like, I'm here.
Yeah, hello there. And I'm lighting the fire, and it's just me and Archie. Those are moments of reflection for me. I sit and I'm just like, gives me proper time to go inwards, and I do have those moments of reflection. Sometimes I have them when I look around and I see the community, you know what I mean? And I see the connections being made, and I see the smiling faces coming out of the sauna and stuff like that. Or sometimes it's when I do a lulu, when I do the round of steam.
Yeah, and it blows your ears and nose off. The first time I ever experienced that, I think you said, like, put your fingers in your nose, hold your nose. I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what?
Yeah, put your head down.
Come on, Marley, get over here.
Think of it as a warm hug. That's normally the.
Sit down, please.
Yeah, it's an experience for sure. It's funny in the new one. We're still trying to understand it. It's definitely softer, I would say, a little bit more gentle.
Okay.
You're going to experience it this weekend.
I am. So this weekend, I am going. I've booked to go. I'm taking my friend. She's coming down for the weekend, and we're going for a wholesome Sunday. And part of that is Hikitalo.
I'm looking forward to experiencing it.
Yeah, I haven't tried
space.
rest yet. I've been to your other one quite a few times, but this is my first time at rest, so I'm like very excited.
Totally different experience. I think.
Cool.
Yeah, which was important. I think when
Yeah.
especially like there's only 3 kilometers between them, so I think it's important to offer 2 different experiences, and I feel that this one definitely offers it. So
nice, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'm there when you come.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, Sunday 11 o'clock.
I'll be there.
So we've mentioned community. How impactful is that for you?
It's the number one thing.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah, it's forget about me actually and stuff like that. It's the community that the people are building. I know that there's WhatsApp groups, where people are meeting up for coffees and running together and whatnot, and the friendships that are being made in there. Yeah, it's incredible. So it's I'm proud of the structure of the sauna, do you mean, and that it has all these details from all my experiences and stuff like that. But if someone was to ask me, it's the community that I'm the most proud of. And when Santre was visiting, my friend from Finland, obviously I was sitting in suspense, waiting for the green tick approval on the Lulu and the sauna and stuff like that. But he actually said as well, the thing that he was most blown away by was the community that we built. He really felt it when we came over.
I think the way that society's going now, where you talk about a few years ago, if people were struggling with their mental health or they were struggling, you either don't talk about it or you just assume that you need to be taking medication or going to therapy and that there's nothing else out there for you. But I think now where it's going, that people who are really struggling can come to communities and be involved in communities like yours now, and that can be the therapy that they need. Being welcomed in with open arms, having that kind of purpose where you're waking up on a Sunday morning and be like, well, I'm going to go and sweat, I'm going to dip in the sea and in and out, and how good that is. Again, it's something that you could potentially touch on, is how beneficial that is to your nervous system alone, and having that connection with people, which I think when you are going through something difficult, it's really easy to isolate yourself.
I did.
Yeah, it's so easy. And then for you living that for yourself, you've seen how that can negatively impact you and how your mental well-being. But then creating something where you're allowing people to have that connection, whether you don't know whether that person's not had a conversation with anybody all day, and they're coming down to the sauna with 20, 30 people meeting together, and that could be something that could make the difference whether they're going to have a good or bad day, I've
seen people change, in the last 7 months. I'm not going to name any names, but there's a few people that jump to mind straight away who've been with us since the beginning and who are still with us now, members in particular. And I've seen them change in the last 7 months, and it's been incredible to witness.
How rewarding is that?
Yeah, it's really, really cool. But I've got to say, I think what we're seeing at the moment, community's a word that's being used a lot. Rightly, but rightly so. I think, you know, a credit to people who are setting up run clubs, you know, things like High Rocks and stuff like that. You know, I think it's good, you know what I mean? And I see these pictures of people in the gym and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a new way of bringing people together. We used to do it in pubs. We used to do it in churches. That's fading out. I think they'll always be there, but like there's just a new way of coming together, and that's the sauna, and it's the other ones that I just mentioned as well, and it's really good to see.
But I think, like you mentioned, pubs as an example would just be the standard place where people would go and meet.
Yeah.
That would encourage then, we'll have a pint or two. You can only catch up with your mates if you're having a pint. And now we're going into this society where I just think this, like you mentioned, you don't drink, I don't drink. I probably drink like twice a year if it was like a really big occasion, but I don't like drink either. So for me having a connection or social connection with my friends or something would be doing something like come to the sauna, going for a sea dip, going for a walk, like going for maybe a coffee outside. That now I think where we're going, where people are choosing things that are going to be beneficial to their health and their well-being rather than choosing something that, you know, like drinking. You see more and more people now choosing not to drink rather than to drink.
Yeah,
not to go out on
unbelievable.
not to go out on a Saturday night. Let's go for a run instead. Like, it's just like this different mindset where I think since COVID everybody's now going through this wellness kind of route, you know?
I can't get my head around it, to be honest, because 10 years ago everyone was out on a piss.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. And I know, you know, we all
couldn't think of anything worse. I could not think of anything worse.
I know, either could I. Bloody hell. No, it's unbelievable, because I lived in Dublin for 12 years, and what did I do over there? I was, you know,
very social country, isn't it?
Yeah, in the pubs every weekend, you know, and I think even that over there is changing, like not completely, but you know, it's mad.
Did you know, you mentioned that you had an issue with alcoholism towards the end of what you were going through? Was that influenced, do you reckon, by that kind of culture being?
You could say that for sure. You know, it was also the environment that I was working in. I was in and the friends I had, you know, we'd come together on the weekends naturally. I think we were all in the same boat. But I think for me as well, it was I would isolate myself in the week, and then have this mega blowout on the weekend. And I did that for, God, how long did I live in Ireland? 12 years, so probably 12 years straight.
The anxiety then having that coming after you've gone on a big bender, and then it's like, if I drink alcohol, I feel awful for like 2-3 days afterwards. I'm like, this is why I don't drink.
Yeah, oh God, I can't do it anymore, and that's why I stopped.
I can't do it either.
I'm coming up to a year sober now, but...
oh, woo, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
17 days away, so...
I'm going to put that in my diary.
Yeah, we'll have coffee together. Or sweat.
Yes, sweat. Yeah.
But no, it was definitely a way of masking my emotions, I think. And like, you know, I've had some good times though. Do you mean? Like,
of course.
That's one thing I would say. I've had a blast, do you know what I mean? And would I change it? It's maybe who I am today, so no, I wouldn't.
So then, since then, if you think like that was one way that you would use to mask your emotions, do you now deal with it differently? So do you feel a lot more comfortable now seeing what you've gone through to deal or speak about your emotions? Like, I think we speak, again, that's something that is spoken around a lot and thrown around a lot. It's like women are so much more open than men. But now I think we are going into this culture and this society where you're seeing male podcasts, you're seeing male groups, male social groups, you're seeing boys, again, go in for coffees and stuff like that rather than going out. And I think that is starting to change, where it's obviously not weak for a male to be speaking about their feelings. It's not weak to speak about emotions. If a man's crying, that's not weak. That's pretty damn strong that you can be able to be confident and comfortable showing your expressing your emotions. So do you think that's perspective for you has changed now? Big time.
And I see a shift happening everywhere in terms of that as well. You know, in terms of men and women speaking more openly about how they're feeling, which I think is great. I've had a lot of talk therapy since I was about 24, so what was that, 11 years ago. What I found was that when I got into my first serious relationship, a lot of how should you say this, bad ways were creeping up from my childhood, and I had to deal with those, and that carried on into my early 30s as well. So I've taught myself to talk openly about my feelings. And I think the sauna has done that for me as well. I mean, I really feel that is a safe space to be able to voice how you feel as well. And I think that's how it's helped me when I went on my journey. That was my safe space to talk.
Well, I suppose you're meeting people every day, aren't you? You're meeting people every day that are interested about the story, interested about the journey, and likewise for you. Like I said, I knew when I first met you, you were so open.
Yeah.
I wanted to know like who we were, like what we were about. Like it was like, whoa, this guy's energy's cool.
Yeah, I'm an open book, me.
Yeah.
You know, I put it all on the table, and haven't always been like that, but I feel like I can be. I do, you know, and I want to be. But it's sometimes I have this conversation with myself. Sometimes I'm like, have I actually really changed, or am I telling myself I've changed? But
that is so interesting.
Yeah, but I was having a conversation with my mother about it recently, and
is she living in Wales?
No, she lives in Holland.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
she recently visited as well. Actually, she was
Oh
here.
yes, you said.
Yeah, she was here for the opening of the second sauna. How could I forget? She's going to be very cross when she sees this. Sorry, man. But she was just reminding me of traits that I used to have and how I've developed. And it is interesting when other people remind you as well, because it is sometimes easy to forget. You know, and
I find it interesting that you mentioned about the relationship thing, because when I was younger, the relationship. Oh, I did have great taste in boys, can't lie. But the trauma from that relationship, if that was like I got cheated on, it was a heartbreak, that would then bring all of the trauma that I had gone through as a child. The breakup of the relationship would like trigger me. So that would be something that like I wouldn't even realise there was a connection over. And then as you mentioned that you never used to be an open book, I was exactly the same. I was closed. No, you never would know what was going on in my life. I was just fake it till you make it kind of vibe. And then, again, I've kind of forced myself now to kind of be more open, but it comes back to that feeling when I felt I had a duty to do so. So then, because I think, like, obviously rugby and my profile growing had an influence in that, because a lot of young people look up to you, but I kind of felt that also how much healthier I felt being more open.
Yeah, it's incredible, actually.
Yeah, and I just felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And now, people always say, "Oh, you're so savage. You're just savage. You know where you stand with you." And I'm like,
That's
great.
Cool. Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. And I understand I need to work on how my delivery is sometimes.
I think it's good to be direct, because like you said, people know where you stand.
They do, but some people aren't as comfortable with that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
What do you think of this? No, I don't like it. Okay.
Hey, but at least we know.
I know, but I agree with my point being is that I agree with what you're saying. When now I force myself to be open. Now I'm like, well, I don't want to live in any other way.
Yeah, because but it's being true to yourself.
100%. You know, and also, I flip that to think again how the negative relationships, losing friendships, and all sorts of stuff with childhood trauma. I wouldn't want, I would want someone to be open with me and someone to be honest with me. So I'm that in return, because at least then I can be, well, I'm open and honest with you. So why? Do you know what I mean?
I respect the same back.
Yeah, and it kind of allows that level of accountability where I can always be like, well, I've always tried to be honest, and I would respect that in return, rather than being like having the different expectations and then being completely different. If that makes sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I don't think it's a bad way to be, honestly. I'd stick to it.
Spend another hour with me, boy, and then you might be changing your mind.
Stick to it.
Oh, it's funny. So, well, what's the plans now? Where are you going? Do you want to create more Hikitalos?
Yeah, I've made my mum a promise when she was here. I've got to slow down a little bit. We've done this within 7 months, and jokes aside, I think, like, you know, from a business perspective, it is time now to just kind of slow down, streamline the two, you know, make sure everything's ticking the way it should, and then we'll dive into number 3 next year.
Because going back to what you just mentioned, burnout is big.
Yeah, and it's my personality. You know, like once I have an idea in my head, that's it. I mean, that's there's no going back. You know, it was the same.
It's
with
like 0 to 100. It's like I think I mentioned to you earlier. My ADHD brain. I can either go. I'm unmotivated. I've got no energy. I've got no drive. Click of the fingers, I am psychopath in seconds, and I'm like, I need to do everything all at once. Yeah. So I do understand, and I think, like, when you're kind of like a high achiever, you kind of know in your head, you know what you can achieve, and you know what you're capable of. It's hard to then take a step back from that and allow time to like, not wait. That's not very good English, but you know what I mean. When you're like, to slow down a bit.
Yeah, and it's very easy from a business perspective to go, oh, this is what we're doing with number 1. Imagine if we can do that with 2, and then you got 2, and then you're like, oh, imagine now if we do a third one. I think now I've said the same to the staff. We slow down, we build on what we're building now, and then next year we'll look into something. I mean, it's I do have ideas, of course, of what I want to do. We want to spread this and go further with it, but yeah.
But I think it's a very special, unique thing that you offer, and you don't need to be global for like people, like I said, travel far and wide to come and experience Hikitalo. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to lose what people experience with us at the moment as well. Like my ethos now, or maybe it's called like a vision statement or something, is that I want people to experience warmth outside of the sauna and proper heat inside of the sauna. So when they come to us, they're greeted with warmth with whichever sauna host is there, and I've got to make sure that we keep that airtight. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, I'm not just saying this because you're here, but I have always felt like that, and I always have come out anytime I've used the sauna, and I'm like buzzing. That set me up for the day. I got to be honest. I have to be honest. Where I did go dipping on New Year's Day, and I did wave them off at one point from the sauna, be like, "Enjoy the sea, guys." I did my first dip, and I was like, "I'm just going to use the shower."
January is no joke. I'm telling you,
freezing.
It is no joke.
However. Very, very good. And like I said, if you haven't tried it, you need to, because it's something, again, I just love the fact that, again, I use the example I think I mentioned earlier, like my friends coming down the weekend, we both...
Go on.
Sorry, Marley's just so distracting. She just wants love and fuss from everyone.
Go into the gym to train. You're not going to be able to train as long and as good as you...
Sorry, technical. Weak! That is staying in the podcast. What was that?
That was
like a motivational video.
To be fair, that could have been a lot worse as well.
That could have been a lot worse. Can you sit down?
I couldn't hear probably. I was looking at the laptop.
I was looking at the laptop too. I was looking through the walls as if like something was happening inside of the wall, and I was like, but I know there's
well, the way we were looking at each other, I looked at the dog. The dog wasn't talking. But you know what? I'll tell you what that is. I had my first day back in the gym today in a long time. And
you and me both.
We were talking about it. My bum is in bits. But that's typical.
You just butt dialed.
Exactly.
Because you just grew your glutes and now they're ready to fire.
But it's me looking at gym motivation stuff now to get going.
There we are. That's so funny.
Yeah. Before we dive into sauna number 3, I've got to grow my butt. So,
but you and me both, I went back to the gym today and I also did lowers. And then I was walking up those stairs just now, I was like,
it's tough.
I think I'm going to make it to the top.
But I do feel good after it though. I've kind of neglected that a little bit.
Yeah, but then it comes down to burnout, doesn't it? Because you just think that, and it comes down to balance, where it's like, your brain is so motivated to get the business side done, and you're like, I need to do this, and you're like, oh, I don't have time, or I'm too tired to go and exercise. But it's that again.
I've been making a lot of excuses. I think rightly so. Like, it has been incredibly busy and stuff like that. But it's like, so basic, right? To look after your body and stuff like that while doing this. So I'm going to get back at it. I'm going to stick to it, and
So, honest question for you then. Obviously, you mentioned burnout originally, and I've mentioned it again. But it is something that, again, I am so terrible for. And just the way my brain's programmed. But how would you now cope with it? Or how would you manage it to prevent you from going through it again, even though you own something that's meant to potentially help you not burn out? Burnout on fire.
I know this is one of the questions that got asked as well, actually. Like,
I'll get that.
How do I look after my own well-being, having a well-being business? Well,
that is really important, though. That's huge, because sometimes, and I'm not saying that
you... a terrible answer now,
you might be hypocritical, but sometimes you find that the people that are the most helpful and wholesome with trying to help their own community forget to look after themselves. We may have a culprit over here, guys.
Guilty
as charged.
No, I've one thing I would say that I'm better at now than before is I identify the signals.
That's big though. Before you even explain why, that to start with is big.
Yeah, I never used to recognise them, and now I get pain in my shoulders, my neck starts hurting. That's where my stress goes. And when that starts creeping up, I'm like, guys, I need a day or two just of taking a little bit of a step back, and that helps. I don't get sick anymore. Oh, God forbid, I get sick. But like, I feel like since I've been going in the sea and the sauna honestly, I feel like my immune system's up there. Do you know what I mean? You watch and I'll have the worst cold known to man tomorrow.
You ring me tomorrow, Ffion. I'm so sick. You won't be there on Sunday because you'll be so well.
Nice, but I need to do a better job at looking after myself. Though you're right, I feel I was actually having this conversation with someone the other day. I feel like I have given a lot of myself the last 7 months, and I feel I'm in a position now with staff and stuff that I can start looking after myself a little bit better, and that started today.
But then are you like that with your staff? So now you know, I think I need to be like this. But if your staff, one of your staff members said to you, "Oh, I'm struggling. I feel I'm going to burn out. Or I'm not feeling." How would you feel you would respond to that?
They know they can voice anything to me, and what is good, about them feeling burnt out when they need to, like.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because then it's like, okay, you can have that compassion for someone that's working for you, but then it's like, hello, I know,
Yeah, it's true. It is true. I really care about them. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds incredibly cheesy, but I've been incredibly lucky with the people that I have on board with me, and they deserve so much credit for what we're building. It's very easy for me to sit here and being interviewed, but shout out to everyone on the team. Their well-being's important. I don't know what else to say.
So you said you care about them.
I really
do you think you care about your own well-being with the same level of...
Damn you, Ffion. I had a chocolate cake before we started this.
Sweetening them up I am.
So the well-being side of...
your own self, yeah.
Yeah, one thing I used to love doing, and Ollie knows this actually because we've spoken about it in the past, is meditation. Taking that, I've got a little setup in the house for it, and I used to do it a lot. It helps me be present. It helps me... The way I always describe it is my mind being like a paper shredder. If I sit there in peace, I can kind of like shred all the stuff that's in my head.
That sounds great.
And I feel a lot clearer, you know what I mean? So
that sounds great.
I'm going to get back into that practice. Yeah, because what is the excuse? I can sit down. I've got 3 minutes of my day. Do you mean where I can sit down? There is no excuse not to do it. So
we say that though, but we get caught up, don't we?
Yeah, but you've seen motivational videos popping up on my phone. I'm going to... there should be a meditation one popping off any second now. But...
a bit, obviously, I have to mention the dog is Archie.
Yes, yeah.
How, obviously, we've got Marley, How long have you had Archie for? How old is he now?
7 years. He's. I had him when I was living in Dublin.
Yeah.
So,
So being with you through it all.
Yeah, big time.
So how, obviously you've met Marley and how my connection with her, I know I thought you didn't appreciate me bringing her today. How has Archie been a support system for you then? Because you mentioned you feeling lonely, and my life for the last 2 years have been lived such an isolated life. I don't know how I would cope without her. And now, you mentioned, you're gonna miss the dog when you go away. I'm like, can we not mention it?
I know.
So how has the dog? Because the dog's usually always there, right? Because anytime I've come to the sauna, I've seen Archie.
Yeah, he's there. He's the furry sauna host, as we call him. But I started grinning as you asked me that question.
You did. Your demeanour changed, by the way. I can't wait to clip that up because when I mentioned his name, you just started glowing.
Right.
Yeah, you did.
He's. Well, I love my dog.
Are we gonna both start crying on this episode?
I feel kind of.
My eyes gonna start watering.
But
I just get it.
The reason why I got Archie actually was remember I said I started talk therapy when I was about 23, 24. Yeah. My therapist at the time recommended I get a dog because I was socially isolating. I wasn't getting out. I've been on a shitload of weight actually. I showed a picture to Reese the other day, who works with me. It was unbelievable. Really, I was in a dark place, and the dog helped me massively. I think I came home that day from the session. I was like, I want to get a dog next week, and it happened really quickly. But incredible help to me. Do you know what I mean? And I live alone now. Do you know what I mean? So
have you always lived alone?
No. But and Archie has lived with my parents for a little bit as well while I was traveling, etc. But there's evenings now where I come home from the sauna, for instance, and it's just me and him on the sofa, and it'd be pretty shit without him.
But I feel like I don't feel lonely anymore.
Exactly, they're great companions, and they just sit there in silence. You don't need to yap. It's lovely.
Yeah, it is. But it's just that feeling of having someone they're always happy to see you.
The tail's always wagging in the morning. 100%. Like when you get up.
And I just feel like, how can you not turn up? Like if I turn up to a venue, well, I think this is a prime example. Turn up to a venue and there's a dog. I'm like, there's a dog. Yeah. Instant happiness.
Well, they're great marketing tools as well.
Yes, because when you put up the story, I was like, brownie points for including Archie.
But he's such a good boy though. Like on the beach, for instance, now, right? You think of all the distractions down there. Dogs on the beach, you name it. He just doesn't leave. You know what I mean? And the only thing he's guilty of, we spoke about this before we started recording, is the food in the car park. I mean, I caught him digging into a Chinese the other day, sweet and sour chicken and prawn crackers.
He's going to be setting his standards high from what he's going to be fed at home now.
A la carte.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Well, don't get any ideas, Molly. Goodness me. So obviously you put a question box on your Instagram to see some questions I can't ask.
Yes.
To see what your following kind of wanted to ask you. So let's dive
a cool idea, actually.
in. Yeah, I feel like it's really nice to have that kind of connection for the people that are investing in you to also have those type of answers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So one
Oh,
I just read the second one.
What is it? I haven't actually
One of
looked
my
at
friends would like to know, are you single?
Oh, jeez, you're making me blush now. Yeah. Yes, I am. It's just me and Archie. We come as a package.
Okay, so welcome to Say How It's Dating. Will is single. He has a dog called Archie. So if you'd like to be interested, they come as a pet.
We need Hinge.
Say how it is. That'll be a clip.
I like it.
That's
Saves
funny.
me on a subscription fee.
That is so funny. It'd be like a dating venue for you now. I remember just coming
You
up
could turn this into like a little blind date spot, mine.
Hey, I think people might be going on dates to your sauna, to be honest.
I tell you what, that idea has been thrown around a few times, not by myself.
Date
but,
night saunas?
Yeah, around Valentine's Day, we had some requests for it. In London and in Dublin, I know that there's a couple of saunas doing speed dating and stuff like that.
Whoa,
that's in the sauna. It is cool.
So I do see people with their clothes off.
I do. Yeah, exactly. I do question it a little bit. Would it work? But
it's different though. It's moving into this new.
Yeah, I know. There's something to be said for it.
If you're going to be speed dating, where you sit in, you go into an event speed dating. Where do you go? What type of venue is it usually?
Do you know what? I'm a simple guy. Is it?
It's usually a bar or some
I've
form
never been
of
on one, to be fair.
Well, I haven't, but it's I've
it's
watched
normally that kind of setting,
come
is
down,
it?
No, not come down. What's it called? First dates, and they're in restaurant bars.
So, that's true. Yeah. That, with the French
so you're
guy.
changing the dynamic. You don't need to meet someone by going out.
I could be the next Fred.
You could.
Something to think about.
Well, you could find someone for yourself.
That's the thing. I'll be in on all the sessions myself. It's not a good idea. So.
It'll be just like, oh my god, my brain is just going now. But yeah, I funny that. Sorry, we are going way off topic.
No,
but
okay.
One of my best friends has been single for like a fair few years, and she said she feels she can't find or meet anyone because she doesn't go out. And she said, "Oh, my mum said to me, just go out on a night out, you'll meet someone." She's like, "But I don't want to," and she feels like there's a massive restriction for her meeting someone because the fact that she's like, all my friends are either in relationships or like with someone, or like, we're not drinky social people. So where can I meet someone? So something like a wholesome sauna, speed dating could be possible.
And to be fair, saunas are a good place to meet people, not just potential partners and stuff like that, but you do meet like-minded people. If you're sitting in that room, it's most likely that you think alike. It's tricky though, dating in your 30s, I think, is it? I don't know.
It is.
It's different.
I think it is, because it's like...
I've definitely become...
avoidant? Because that's what she says. She said she feels she's become avoidant of it now because it's like she's become so independent and so worried about like the red flag scenario that she knows what she wants. So she's now like, I've been out of it for so long that I'm now scared of it. And she's like, because I've been out of it for so long, I don't know how I would actually be meeting someone again.
There is truth in that.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can set you both up. This could be great. No, but being serious,
no, it's true,
it is something that she openly really struggles about. And she actually mentioned it. She did the episode 1 with me, and she spoke about it openly. And she was like, I really struggle with it because it's like you get to this stage where everyone else is settling down, and then like you're at that stage where it's like it's kind of the opposite. So and it's hard. She's like, I don't want to be forcing myself to do something like going out on a night out. That's something that's not my values, not something I want to do. So how am I going to? She's like, how am I going to meet someone?
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, you have to stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
But I think as you get older, you find the importance of your values aligning and stuff like that as well, and that becomes quite important to you. You don't want to settle for something that breaches that or whatever. I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
No, I agree.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as well, it's being comfortable being by yourself. Because you mentioned there, you and Archie come as a pair. Like,
I'm very that's
comfortable.
the thing. But that can be a bad thing as well.
Barrier.
Yeah,
That
can be a bad thing
It's
as well.
like
Maybe I've become too comfortable. You know, I've been incredibly busy. I'm not actively looking, to be fair.
But that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I think I do.
Sometimes
it happens when you're not looking. They say that, don't they? So, yeah,
it's true. I can't wait to set you up. And then I can get free saunas if I set you up. Then I'll be getting discount.
Consider it done. We'll sign that.
Yes. Right. Right, let's get back to the questions.
God, what's next? I'm quite nervous. My hands are sweating.
No, this is a nice one. Well, not nice. Well, it is nice, but it's not rude. How did you come about choosing...
There were a lot of rude ones.
How did you come about choosing your sauna location?
Oh, I have to give a massive shout out to somebody. This was actually on my mind when you asked me earlier, but I lost track. I have to give a shout out to Lloyd Ashley, who we know.
Lloyd, yes!
What a legend. Absolute legend. The first person I spoke to regarding the location.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
he's great. What a guy.
I got to express my gratitude there. I picked up the phone to speak to him to see what the community was like down there, etc. So, being a massive supporter from the beginning. So I just want to say a massive thank you, Lloyd.
Just to jump in on that, I agree. You are very supportive because he's backed
a giant of a man.
Yeah, he is, but he's backed like me all the way. Always commenting on stuff, always supporting, always sharing stuff. Like, doesn't have to.
Yeah,
but
no,
real,
totally.
genuine guy. So.
Yeah, and very approachable and stuff like that. So
even though he's like 9 foot.
Yeah, no, literally a giant of a guy. That was the first person I spoke to, and then I started going down there. I started getting involved with dipping, etc. And because I had this idea in Germany, and I was kind of keeping it up my sleeve for whatever country I was going to move to next, because I did not plan to do it here. When I started getting involved down there, when I kind of like did that walk up from the beach, I thought like, God, yeah, this could actually really work here, and that's how it started. Yeah, that's how Sandy Bay got chosen for it. So it was actually always meant to be Rest Bay first.
Really?
That's the one where I was before picking up the phone to Lloyd that I had my eyes on, but. I think it's worked out exactly the way it was meant to. And now it being in Rest Bay at this time is perfect because you've already got that kind of... Exactly. But that being said, a lot of people from sauna number 1, they feel proud about that space. Yeah, I can imagine. It's become their stomping ground. I don't want to go anywhere else. Yeah, and I get that. And I actually like that. It's up to us now to build, build on that. I think there's something also to be proud of because it's something that they feel... protective of it. That's why I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I've enjoyed seeing them be like, no, this is ours. You know what I mean? So, well, it can still be yours, but it's over there. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get on your bike. What were you doing before Hikitalo? So I was working in tech in the corporate world. So what type of tech? Yeah, so when I was 20, when I finished my college here, being bilingual, I speak fluent Dutch. I put my CV online. And I ended up working for HP, the printers and stuff like that, not the source, but in Dublin, I landed my first job over there, working in tech support, and I worked my way up to doing corporate sales, and I was selling software to the financial services industry. So, I worked for DocuSign, IBM, those kind of companies, and I've always enjoyed sales. To be fair, it's it led to a burnout, and it led to me not enjoying it anymore and stuff like that, but it did come pretty natural to me, and not because of being pushy sales kind of person. Just having, I love people. Yeah, having those conversations with people all the time. Yeah. Do you think we did touch on it a bit earlier? Do you think you'll expand from Porthcawl? Ogmore/Southern Down would be class. There's can't share my business ideas. Yeah. Well, the pause. The space? Yeah. No. Look. There's been a lot of ask about Ogmore since starting these two, and I can see why. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. What puts me off there, I might as well say it on air, say it how it is. Yes. Is the water quality, and it's also a very dangerous beach to dip at. I mean, it really is. I think that's a justifiable answer. Yeah, and I love that. That puts that to bed. But we will go further afield than Porthcawl for sure. I know the spot where I want to put it, and I know what we want to put there. Don't say it too soon, someone might steal it. No, I know exactly. But like I said, promises to mum, and I've got to keep them. But on that point, you could easily be in the mindset of, this is all about money. Yeah, I can put one on Ogmore, make loads of money. Yeah, it's not about that. But it's not about. Do you know what I mean? But the fact you literally said, like, it's not safe. Just dip in, and like the water quality, that's what the experience is about. So totally. I massively respect that, because again, you could easily make a business decision to be like,
Yeah, I'll put it there because everybody wants it, but it's not the experience that you want to create.
I can honestly say, and people are going to think like, whatever, blah, 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 but this has not been created purely for money. It has to take, I like when it does well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I want it to do
put
well.
A roof over my head.
Yeah, and for the team as well, but I want it to do extremely well. Do you know what I mean? And I want to grow this, and it gets me excited thinking about the potential growth. It's impact that I measure as well. You know what I mean? And of course, I've got to look at the revenue and stuff like that, and think of ways to grow it. But impact is number one.
I 100%, I believe you for a start, because again, that's how I felt doing this podcast. Where when I created Say It How It Is, it was nothing to do with money. It was about, I think when you've got your
money
own,
will come.
Yeah, but I think when you've got your own why of why you want to do something, that's what's important. Like, I didn't make Say It How It Is to make a business out of it. I did it because I want what my why was. I wanted to share incredible stories that need to be heard and be able to help people. Yeah, okay, if money then comes from it, great, but that's not the intention. But I think that's what helps things to be sustainable, is because the reason you started was probably because of something potentially like we have got in common, traumatic, or an experience has made us then create this, whatever this is, what I'm doing with my hand. Yeah. But also, if it's all about money, then the idea and passion could end up dying. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not as authentic and real. I
totally align with that, because if you do something that you truly love and it gives you a sense of purpose and it gets you up in the morning, you know what I mean? The money will flow for sure. It's going to come. Do you know what I mean? And that's the way I kind of think about it. The reason why money is less important to me as well is because I've had money. Yeah. And the more I had of it,
less happy we were.
Exactly. You know what I mean? I felt incredibly suffocated by it. You know what I mean? So it's, But
I also think that's very good to know that, because you can get lost in it, can't you, to be around, and you can get into this world of comparison to be like, oh, X, Y, and Z's been this successful, but
I don't do that anymore.
And people assume that, if you earn X amount, you're going to be happy, but like you said, money doesn't buy happiness, and you're living proof where you are so much happier without it. But and it's hard, isn't it, when you're in business, because of course there is the sustainability and things cost money, but the intention being, I'm not in a position I want to make millions. I'm in a position where I want to be happy, healthy, and provide a safe space for people,
Yeah, totally. And I have to be realistic about it. Of course I have to look at the figures, when I speak to the bank, etc. But the purpose is the number one thing for me, and that's what I'm going to remain focused on, no matter how big this gets. I mean, I don't want to lose that.
But I've said this to you already, my first impression when coming down to the beach, I felt that authenticness from you from the beginning.
I really appreciate that. It's.
I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't agree.
I know you say how it is. Yeah. It's but it's it is. Yeah, I'm glad that comes across. To be honest with you, I released a video maybe last week or 2 weeks ago to give people a sneak peek of what my life was like, and the things that I was focused on before, and what it led to. And I felt it was important to put that out, because it's very easy to say these things. And the feedback that I've got from people is that it has given them a bit of insight into my why and that type of thing.
100%, because people are getting to know you and understand what the why behind it is so important, because it allows people to build that connection with you. One, you become some form of relatable, because people are like, oh, well, or you're also being vulnerable, and people also respect that. But again, I think the society that we're going down now is that people are buying into things that are real. People don't get fooled anymore. And if you were faking it and giving this whole fake thing of like you're doing it for the wrong reasons, I think that would be really obvious. But being open and being like vulnerable and sharing those things about you makes Hikitalo even more special, because people can understand, well, this has come from this place, and also somebody that could have had the similar experience that you've been through, that may push them to come and benefit the same thing that you did,
That's the impact thing that I like to measure. You know what I mean? It's like, you remember I said to you about people who've been coming in since day one, and like what they're like now. That's impact for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going to keep focused on.
I don't know whether it's just because we've been through such negative stuff, but that's what fires me up. Yeah, it's that impact really cool stuff. Yeah. Like when I receive messages, we've received messages from different episodes over the 2 seasons, and like things I've been vulnerable about sharing on my own social media, and the messages I get, I'm like, that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, and I get this weird feeling.
Sometimes you need a
like,
reminder, mind.
100%, yeah.
Like, you know, someone holds a mirror up against you. It's,
Yeah. Deep.
I know, I like it.
Right. Let's see what else we've got up here. Ooh, if someone developed a special Hikitalo ice cream, what flavour would it be?
Bloody hell. I love my ice cream as well.
I love my ice cream.
Have to be sweat flavoured.
What would your favourite normal flavour be?
Oh.
What are you going for? If you had to go to the shop now.
Well, I always like to go for, what's it? Not peach. Mango.
Really?
Yeah,
You're a fruit guy?
Yeah. And I love sorbets and stuff like that. Gosh, that's a good question, because I'm instantly thinking of like something Nordic, but you wouldn't have birch ice cream or something like that. The first one that comes to mind is probably lemon, because we put lemon in our lulu. You know, we infuse that with lemongrass. So let's go for lemon.
Maybe mixture.
We can spice it up a little bit if you want.
Lemon
We've been doing that
and,
with the
like,
lulus
mango or
lately.
something.
We've got a bit of grapefruit that we've been infusing with a bit of lime, and
It would definitely be a fruity ice cream though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah,
It
no,
would
we keep it
definitely be a
fruity.
fruity ice cream.
Yeah. We're not gonna have a boring cold. That's for sure.
So what, to kind of like round off what we've been speaking about, what, if you now listen to this episode, going through something really difficult, or from the experience that you have when you're talking about dealing with trauma and burnout, and you didn't know where to turn, what would you be saying to you, however many years ago?
What I would say to myself is to try my best to step outside of my comfort zone, because that's essentially what would get me to this place here. You know, I mean, I had to pack up when I could. Obviously, there's moments in your life where you literally can't, and you know, I've been there. But when you get that little glimmer of a feeling that you can do it, because it'll put you in positions that are better. Do you mean? And I feel like it's important to kind of like lean into that side of things when you can. Do you mean? And whoever is feeling like that, who's maybe listening to this, our door is always open. Do you mean? And we'll listen to you. And
Will listen to you.
Will listen to you, and we'll offer that safe space for you to talk in, and maybe you'll end your session with a lemon ice cream.
Who knows?
Ah, I like this.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast.
I like it.
Where the previous guest leaves the next question, but they don't know who they're leaving it for.
Right, okay, interesting. Okay.
Do you want to come and see, love? So.
Oh, this is lovely.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Your question, what do you value about yourself the most?
Wow.
And by the way, you have to leave the next guest question too.
One thing's for certain, I'm not going to have handwriting like that.
It's all right, there's no judgment.
Is that okay? That's okay. What do I value about myself the most? I want to make sure this is a real answer, not just something...
It's all right, we can...
Yeah.
I'll sing what you're thinking. Na, 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 na.
I think it's the ability to be kind. I mean, I haven't always had that ability. You know, there's been moments in my life that that you kind of get a glimpse of in that video, for instance, where I've had an incredibly big ego. I've walked around with a lot of anger, and the way I approach life now and approach people is with kindness, and that I value about myself the most, because I can see what I get back from it, and it's nothing but good.
I love that. Absolutely love it. But do you think that you, with that version of yourself, when you're saying that you were angry and an ego, because you just didn't know how to process what you'd been through?
Bingo, yeah. I had the biggest chip on my shoulder. Do you mean? Because I wasn't dealing with things the way I wasn't manning up to them. You know what I mean? And I've had a big slice of humble pie, and I've had to look myself in the mirror and have conversations with myself, and through talk therapy and stuff like that, and from battling moments in the sauna and stuff like that. And it's all those things combined, and the journey that I went on that have brought me here. And I feel a hell of a lot better in myself. And I can finally say at 35 that I'm very happy. I mean, so yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
I love that for you. And I obviously know I've met you at a point where you are in this kind of healthy and happy place, but I've never had the impression of you of being that angry, chip in the shoulder, cocky, whatever guy. Yeah. I've seen someone that seems pure, seems open, seems really genuine, and that's that's someone I love to support. If I turned up to Hikitalo and I'd seen this asshole being cocky and is like a complete businessman, I won't be coming back. Won't be having him on my podcast, that's for
and
sure.
he wouldn't have set up a business like this.
He wouldn't have built the community that he's built. He wouldn't have got a second one everyone's buzzing for.
I was only focused on this. I mean, and incredibly selfish. And no, this is. I'm very happy with the path that I'm on, and I'm very happy that it leads me to moments like this with you. Do you mean I've gotten to know you through the sauna and many other great people since living in Porthcawl, and I'm incredibly grateful to everyone. So yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, well, how lovely! This has been such a lovely episode. I've really enjoyed getting to know you a bit more.
Likewise, thank you for inviting me on. And
and I'm so I say proud, but I do feel like that. It's amazing to have someone doing such great things. I know we talk about community, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to be investing so much time and passion into something that is helping so many people and providing such a safe space. And like I said, I've used it so many times now, and so it's not like I'm saying this just because I think it. I've actually felt it. And it's something I would definitely recommend to everyone. So, on that note, if you haven't been to Hikitalo, you need to go. Can you tell everyone where they'll find both options now?
Yes, yeah. So if you go on to hikitalo.com and you go on to the book sauna page, you'll have two options for Sandy Bay and Rest Bay. Sandy Bay is the OG. Rest Bay is our new one, so you can book both there. It's £16 for an hour. We're open 7 days a week, from 7 in the morning till 9 at night, and I'll be there to greet you and do a lulu for you, or the incredible staff there that work there now with me will be there. So we look forward to doing a lulu for you on Sunday, actually.
May I just add, the first time you did what do you call
lulu.
Lulu?
Lulu. It's
Lulu.
it's the word for the sauna steam in Finnish.
Lulu. He was dressed in a fluffy outfit, dungarees outfit, and I was like, "Are you not hot?"
You know,
I'm so weltering in a bikini.
I've had to put those away for the summer, and I'm absolutely gutted. I should have worn them on today, actually.
This guy's made of lava. But yes, thank you so much, and I'm so excited to come on again on Sunday and try the new Rest Bay.
Thank you so much, Ffion.
It's
been an absolute pleasure. Look forward to having a hug.
Yeah, definitely. And remember to keep saying it how it is.